Right.
Hi, everybody. I'm very happy to be live with Susan Willis.
Uh-huh.
That
Hi,
was
everyone.
often that was often an intro to you and your books.
Well, just briefly, I've been writing probably about 15 years. Started writing foodie romance and then went on to relationship type of stories and then went down the romantic suspense route and then ended up with a couple of psychological thrillers. And then I went to the Harrogate Crime Writers Festival. It was the year before lockdown. And when I got back, I thought, I don't feel confident enough to write a cosy crime novel, but I might start and do some short reads. So I wrote 6 short reads, cosy crime, and I sent them off to various places. And then Northodox came back and said, although we weren't thinking of doing short stories, but when you've got the 6 together, the same length as a novel. So they said, let's go with it. So they were published in January. And then after that, I wrote a novella, which was a Christmas one, set in York. And it was just a gentle romance after the lockdown. But my guy was called Clive Thompson, and everybody that read it said, my friends and family said, "Oh, I love Clive. He's really nice. He's gormless, but he's really nice." So I thought, right, he deserves his own novel. So I wrote the Clive's Christmas Crusades, and I found this. I was talking to Sam before about the cover. I don't know if you can you see it with the light. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I found a really good cover designer, and I found this photograph of York Minster, and then this silhouette of Clive, who I think it was Clive, because it really looks like him. He bought the briefcase and the trilby hat in a charity shop because he thought it gave him a bit of credence, and he's always falling about, and uh, not sort of your typical romantic hero type, just an ordinary guy. So this year's book I actually wrote last year, and it's called Death at the Caravan Park, and it's set in Whitley Bay. And the cover, I found the photograph of the lighthouse, and I asked her if she could put the same silhouette next to it on the lighthouse, and which she did. So that's just out now. So um, yeah, but this book, The Death at the Caravan Park, was a different process. I've never done this before. But the beginning of last year, my mum, who's 90, she said to me, "Will you take me on a coach trip?" I said, "Yeah, of course I will. Where do you want to go?" She said, "Well, it's called the Vera Experience," because she loves watching Vera on the television. So off we went on a coach trip, right along the coast. Started off in Newcastle. She was a brilliant guide. They had a small screen on the television, and every place that was stopped, going along the coast, North Shields, Fish Quay, Tynemouth, Whitley Bay, and Bamborough, Sea Houses, and then finished up at Holy Island. They showed the little clip of the episode of where it had been filmed, at each place was stopped. So as we came along the seafront, past Cullercoats, he stopped opposite the lighthouse and people were getting off to take photographs. And I looked down at the causeway and I thought, that's a great place to find a body on that causeway. And then the coach turned at the left at the roundabout, and I said to my mum, "I didn't know there was a caravan park here." She said, "It's been there for years." So I said, "Well, I can't remember the last time I was in a caravan." So what I did was, when I came back, I went along the caravan park and I booked us into a caravan for the week. So off we went, and I took zillions of photographs. We stayed in the van, wrote me plot, put me chapters together, explored everywhere, over at the lighthouse, the causeway, Links Art Cafe, Spanish City, up to the shops, and the history side of the mystery is Seton Delaval Hall. So so I got it finished May, June and sent it out. And a Welsh publisher, Dark Edge Press, they came straight back and said, yes, we'll love it, let's go. But it's part of a 2-book deal. So you need to write another book and we want it by December. I was like, oh, goodness. Anyway, so I put my head down, wrote the second book. And the week I finished it and getting ready to send it off to them, I got the email to say they were going into liquidation and she gave us my copyright back. So I ended up with 2 books sitting with nowhere to go. So I thought, okay, I'll self-publish the Caravan Park one because it's a summer book. And that's where I'm up to. And the other one, I'm going to self-publish in January next year. That one's set in Harrogate.
So, shall we tell people how we met?
Yes.
Do you want to talk about the event that you were at?
Yes, yeah, down in Leeds, yeah. With Orthodox Press. They published my my 6 short reads called The Curious Case Files. And I think since January, really, they've had a couple of events on, but nothing quite as local to us. And one of the other authors with them, Simon, who lives in Newcastle, and I'm in Chesley Street, so he picked us up and we went down for the day, where they had everybody's books out. And I think it was publication day for one of the other authors, and they've took another 4 or 5 on this year. So, and that's how we were chatting, and that's how I met you, Cass.
It is because I went along to get a book by Catherine Fern, who
Yeah.
channel, and I knew she was there, and I liked books, and I was like, this is good. Go and have a browse. I came home with books from it, so it was excellent. We've got some hellos from people. I'm going to try and work out who they all are. So Leslie said hello. Someone says she likes Claire being on each cover.
Something's happened. I've lost you. Oh, my screen went blank there, but it's come back on again.
Excellent. We've got hellos from Donna and Leslie Lloyd. And someone said she likes Clive being on each cover. And she also says, well done for paving the way for other writers for the short stories.
All right, thank you. Yeah, yeah.
I liked your story about going to the caravan park and kind of mapping out everything. When you did the Harrogate one, did you do the same thing?
No, but I've stayed in Harrogate before, so I sort of I know Harrogate quite well. And with doing the Crime Writers Festival at the Swan, because Clive actually lives in York, but he's part of a writing group in Harrogate at the library, and he gets a new job as an assistant for a PI based in York, but he goes to see 2 or 3 clients in Harrogate, and at the writing group they're asked to host this author interview. So him and his pal, they interview 2 or 3 authors on a panel. So it's sort of, writing stuff, but then there's like a big explosive ending sort of thing in one of the cases that he gets involved with. Yeah. So I'm just be looking for a photograph. I'm thinking of the old swan or the Turkish baths, which whatever, famous to Harrogate sort of thing. And then I'll put the same silhouette on the edge of it. And then I think it'll look, because it'll be Clive Thompson Investigates 3, so it'll be 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, with all the pictures on. I was reading his Christmas one before the chat. And then when I was looking for your books on Amazon, there's a lot of them. You said you started off with like a kind of foodie romance.
Yeah, I was a food technologist for 20 years, and then the last 15 years I started working for myself, so travelled all up and down the country, and mainly the food products that I've worked on and developed and launched are Marks and Spencer's. So, but I was telling Sam before, I could never, because of work, I could never sort of get involved with things as an author. It was just basically, weekends and in between contracts and things. But I retired in December, so I thought, right, this is my time now, so I can get involved with things like this, and my diary's my own, so I can get out and about a bit more. And I've started doing craft fairs and markets, and I absolutely love it. Taking my books along and chatting to people, it's amazing what people tell you about what they read, what they like to read. And the majority of people love the fact that the books are based in the Northeast, and especially if the quite loads of people have said to us, "Oh, I love reading about it," where because I think that's just round the corner from me, and they really enjoy it. So going forward, I'm going to concentrate on the northern side of my writing. Some of my older ones are some set in London and different places I've worked really in the country, Shrewsbury and Kingston, Surbiton down there. But from now on, I'm going to concentrate on. I think sense of place at the moment is really high up there on the list. So yeah.
Yeah, we'll come back to the sense of place thing because there's a question about that. But there's this amazing building in Leeds. You were saying about Marks and Spencer's, and it was just making me think about it. It's like an MS Archives in Leeds.
Sorry?
There's an M&S Archives building in Leeds.
All right, okay.
It's where Marks and Spencer's started. And
right.
They keep an archive and they keep sort of things from the whole history of it.
Right, brilliant.
Food packaging and things like that.
Yeah.
They also do like workshops and things. Our kids have been there today from my school.
All right.
Things they say when you go is that, the chocolate pudding that they make, the one that's like a melting.
Absolutely. Yeah, melt in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the things that makes the most money for them.
It is. Absolutely. Yeah.
We thought that was a really interesting fact when I learned it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's made, or it was, I don't know if it still is, in green core cakes and desserts in Hull. That's where it started.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah. So they have the small, the chocolate pudding in the small basin, and it goes along the line, and then they inject the chocolate sauce down into the middle of it, and then it goes further down the line and into the oven and is baked. Yeah, and there you go.
Yeah, there you go. And then that makes probably, it's like the highest earning product ever, I think.
Yeah, well, I can quite believe that. Yeah. But I work for quite a lot of the suppliers that fish, not just, fish, desserts, cakes, all of their range really, up and down the country, sushi, I've done veg, coleslaw, fruit. I know fruit wasn't M&S, that was Del Monte, but yeah. So sort of work with the suppliers that supply into M&S, which is, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So at the beginning, I wrote quite a lot of food, non-fiction articles, and then I wrote a short story, which was about a cook and a new boyfriend. And her boyfriend said, "You're always cooking because that's what you do, so I'm going to make a meal for you." And I got it published in an American magazine, and that was the start, really. Off I went, mixing the two together, because it was what I knew, really. Not that I knew much about romance, but I knew the foodie bit and stuff. So, yeah. Joined the Romantic Novelist Association, which I'm still in. And, and progressed from there. So, yeah.
Going back to your thing about staying northern, someone has asked if the location is the inspiration for your stories.
It has been the last, since the shambles, really, which I think 3 Christmases ago. And I thought, yeah, I'm just basing them, in the northeast, and that doesn't mean to say, I suppose, in a couple of years' time, if I wanted to base one somewhere else, but at the moment, that seems to be what's working for me. And like I say, sense of place. Everybody just loves to read about where they actually live. And as I'm sort of branching out, selling, at the fairs, at the craft fairs, and the ordinary market, and local shops as well. We've got quite a few little independent ones now. The Caravan Park one, the Bound in Whitley Bay. He's ordered 5 copies to put in the shop, and yeah, so it's not. I mean, the Curious Case files are in Waterstones, but they're not all big stores. We've got quite a few smaller independent ones. A couple down in Durham. There's one in Horton East Spring. There's the Whitley Bay one, and they've got one Corbridge and Hexham as well. So yeah.
Why did you choose to make Clive live in York then?
I think the weekend before, I thought I'll write a Christmas novella. I had been down to York with some friends for the weekend, and we were just sort of, I think we were just sort of coming out of first lockdown actually, before we went into the tier things, and we had like a long weekend in York, and we stayed at the Middleton Hotel, and I thought, right, I might set my romance here, because I took loads of photographs, and two of the friends were up from the south, and we were showing them round, and so we'd sort of done all the sites and things, and the Jorvik Museum and everything. So I thought I'll set it here in York, because I know it quite well, so yeah.
It's a beautiful place at Christmas as well, isn't it?
Oh, it's lovely, yeah, it is, yeah. Well, the Shambles is definitely. And then the Christmas Crusade one, the book I wrote after that, Clive's a tour leader, so he takes everybody around all the sites and things, and the Shambles, and he makes up stories about them and things. So yeah, and then just sort of stumbles into the faculty of trying to solve cozy crime and things, little small crimes along the way.
He talks about doing like the ghost tours, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does the ghost tours, and yeah, and some pickpocketers, and he actually gets mugged. This guy mugs him, and he can't understand it at all, and he's always loved living in the city. It's dead safe. Why did they pick on him? And
it is a pretty safe city, I think, to live in, York.
I think so, yeah, and but I think now as well, my screen's gone blank again. I'm hoping you'll come back up shortly. But I think now with the big, there's lots of hen parties and stag parties, and especially Christmas as well, with the Christmas markets. It's always a popular place.
It is indeed. What are you working on at the moment?
At the moment, trying to do some more. I've been writing short stories for maybe 3 years now, for Women's Weekly magazine. So I've sent Andrew 4 or 5 stories which he likes, and he's got them on his list, but you never sort of know when he's going to place them. So I thought I'll do some Christmas, maybe the Halloween, October, November, and December. I've also done another 4 short reads, which are Christmas stories. And the main theme for that, I've called them Intriguing Journeys at Christmas. And the people from the Northeast that go on the Eurostar. One couple go to Amsterdam, to Lille, to Paris. So yeah, I've got those together. And I'll probably put that out about October, I think, for Christmas.
Do you particularly like Christmas? Because you've got quite a lot of Christmas themed
I
things.
have, well, I think it's a really popular time for reading as well, Christmas. A lot of, Christmas is quite sort of big, I think, on the calendar for books and reading.
It can
Mm.
be. We have like online book festivals in the group, and the Christmas themed one we have
All
is like
right.
our last event. We have a Winterfest, and it is Sam's favourite festival that
Yeah,
we do.
yeah.
My favourite one is the Halloween themed one that we have.
Right. All right. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I have a couple of Halloween stories, yeah. And I'm trying to think what I've sent him. I think the other three or four I've sent him that he likes, or for sort of any time of the year. But last year I wrote one called Mr. Tinsel, and he published that in the November issue, because it was about tinsel getting ready for Christmas. It wasn't quite like Christmas, November-ish, So yeah, yeah. So yeah, so I'll have me 4 short reads together to publish in October. And then Harrogate, I think I'll do January, February next year. And that might be the finish of Clive. I'll see how the caravan goes, and then I'll do the Harrogate because it's written, um, and then we'll see what happens after that. Yeah, yeah.
Do you have ideas for other crime things that you might write after Clive?
I don't know really. I'm going to Harrogate again 2 weeks' time to the festival. So the Curious Case Files. When I was there, let's see, I was before the year before lockdown. I sat with my notepad and listened to the greats. James Patterson was there from America, and he started off saying his new book was called "The President is Missing," and I thought, I wonder what would happen if an author went missing. So I was just scribbling ideas down as I went, and mostly there was a big talk. A lot of the panels were about social media. So I wrote a story around the perils of social media and the ups and downs of it. And then there's a story set at Christmas time, which is on Skype. So yeah, so those were all the ideas I listed on my notebook when I was listening to everybody over the few. So hopefully, when I go in 2 weeks' time, I might come back with another jotter full of different ideas and things to pick up. Yeah.
Donna says she's going on the Eurostar for the first time next month.
All right, brilliant. Yeah. Yeah, great.
I've never been on the Eurostar, Donna. You'll have to let us know.
I've travelled all over Europe on the on the Eurostar to Paris mainly, and then the Gare du Nord, and then a taxi across to the Gare de Lyon, and then you can take trains right down Italy, Switzerland, down over.
Oh,
Yeah,
I've not in the trains in Europe.
yeah,
I've normally flown to Europe and then done the train.
yeah, yeah. Well, the Eurostar, the trains abroad are nothing like they are here. Especially the Swiss trains are absolutely.
Yeah, the cab, aren't they?
Oh God, they get hysterical if there's a train that runs 3 minutes late. 3 minutes. There's none of this signals at Doncaster carry on and abroad, and the Swiss trains, you could eat your dinner off the floor. They are absolutely spotless, really are. Yeah, and the French, the TGVs are great as well. And the good thing is about those is that they have an upstairs, so you can pay €15 more to sit upstairs, which is just all glass windows. And it's when you come down through Switzerland, it is just breathtaking. The scenery, it is absolutely beautiful. Yeah, yeah.
If you go on Norwegian trains, it's free coffee. They're
All right.
doing all the
Yeah,
marriages and things.
yeah, yeah. And for us as well, Durham to King's Cross, 3 hours flat. Get off in King's Cross, walk across the road into St Pancras and check in for the Eurostar. Last year we went to Lille and made some friends. That was 1 hour 15 and you were in the centre of Lille. Brilliant. Because it's not like the airport where you've got to get yourself to the airport. and then you've got to get off at the airport and get yourself into the city, because the train stations are in the city. So I think it's marvelous. Yeah.
Are you at Harrogate for the whole event this time?
Yeah, I'm going down Thursday, earlier than what I planned because I didn't realise the last week that the trains are on strike on the 20th, the 21st, and 22nd, and we're going on the 20th. So I've got a ticket, a seat on the National Express coach from Newcastle to Harrogate. I have to go to Leeds first, get off there, and there's a half an hour change, and then take another coach from Leeds to Harrogate. So bit of a different way to go. It takes about an hour longer, but at least I'll get there where,
We can just bus to Harrogate from Leeds.
yeah, you can take a bus, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a bus at the bus station.
yeah, yeah.
Into
Well,
Harrogate.
this National Express, the ticket takes us right to Harrogate, so I thought I might as well just stay, you know what I mean, with that one. Yeah, yeah.
I'm working on the fact that I live in Leeds, so it should be easy to get to Harrogate.
Are you going to the festival?
I'm going Friday evening for an event and today.
All right, yeah, I'm there Thursday, Friday. My friend Rosie, she lives down in Poole in Dorset. She's driving up. She's always wanted to go, and so we've got a cottage on booking.com. So she'll be there about 3, 4 o'clock on Thursday afternoon, and then we're leaving on Monday morning. So
That'd be nice.
yeah, be nice. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
Sam is going as well. Who knows watching?
All right. Yeah.
I'm guessing Donna, who's been coming and saying about the Eurostar, will probably be there. We're hoping
All right.
you go in, Donna. Let's see if she answers. But yeah, we love that. So you've done Orthodox Harrogate. Have you got any other events planned, like bookish ones?
No, I haven't actually. I was thinking of bloody Scotland. I'm not swearing when I say that because the festival is called, as you know, up in Stirling. But that's September, so and I've been away 3 times already this year, so I'm figuring I'm meeting some friends and we're having like a weekend in London in November, so I think I can't really afford it, so I might do Scotland to Stirling next year instead.
And London is really expensive. I stayed over there last year.
Horrendous. I could not believe this because I don't know how I was volunteered out of 7 of us that are meeting up to find the hotel. £182 for a Premier Inn in London. Can you believe that? Oh, I'm not paying it.
I will believe you because I went down to London last month and it cost me 100 and something pounds for my hotel room for the night.
Yeah, yeah. So I found us one for I think it's 106 a night, and it's called the Harlingford, and it's on Cartwright Gardens. So if you come out of King's Cross and turn right and walk along, British Library's on your right hand side, straight across. It's the side street that goes up behind Euston Road, and it's a bit like Bath. It's a lovely Georgian sort of crescent, and there's some studios to let, and there's 2 or 3 hotels, and the Hollingford's one of them. I mean, it's clean and comfortable, and that's it in a good area. But yeah, well, I just thought I cannot possibly give the Premier Inn 180 something pounds. It's just even this year. Well, last month I was down in Bristol with some friends, and the sites down there, sort of the SS Great Britain, the ship. It was 22.95 to get on the ship to look around. So I don't know whether everybody's putting the prices up because they've lost so much during lockdowns or what, but we found it quite expensive.
Well, we're just like penny pinching northerners who don't want to go. Don't want to leave our homeland.
Maybe that's it.
Donna is coming up to Harrogate, which is great. And I think this is her saying she's going to have to drive because of the trains.
Oh, right, yeah, yeah. Where's she coming up from?
Donna lives down in like near Luton, I think.
All right. Well, tell her to try the National Express coach. I found it quite good, and I think it's a £42 return. And we return ticket on the coach, and the train was £46, so it's not that much difference really. An extra hour to sit on the coach, but we can live with that.
More time to read.
Sorry?
More time to read.
That's right, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, that's great. Yeah,
So,
yeah.
what have you read this year that you've really enjoyed?
Well, my favourite American crime writer is Harlan Coben. I don't know if you've read any Harlan's books. He is, I just think he's the master of endings upon endings. Every time I read one of his books, I think, "God, I didn't see that coming at all." Even the last, sometimes just the last two pages, sometimes it's the last chapter. And I've just read his last year's book. I think it's called Win. And his sidekick years ago is an English guy, although he's American, ex-baseball player, but turned private detective. But one of his best friends is an Englishman, and he calls him Win. And the book sort of written through his eyes this time, so I really enjoyed that. And at the minute, I've got I'm listening to Louise Candlish, the disappearance of Emily Marr, and it's quite good. I'm only about 5 or 6 sides in, but it's written into two women, and they share an apartment in Spain, and they've both got secrets, and it's in both viewpoints. Each chapter's a different, one viewpoint. Yeah, so I'm quite enjoying it. Yeah, yeah.
Nice. I'm reading Fearless by Mike Craven.
All right. Yeah, yeah. Good. Is it good?
It's all right. I've just started it today, so I can't really say because I'm like
Ah,
30 pages
uh-huh.
in.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
I was reading The Fall before that by Louise Jensen. That was really good.
All right. Yeah. I think I've read one of his. It wasn't before. I don't remember which other one I've read of his. Yeah, great. Uh-huh.
Donna says she doesn't do coaches, she gets travel sick. Donna,
Oh,
I am in 100% agreement. I can train anywhere, I can fly anywhere, I can do ferries, but
yeah.
coaches make me so travel sick. It's
Oh,
so
yeah. Oh, uh-huh. Oh, I hope she's not going to be able to get up then, is she?
yeah, she said she was going to drive,
All right. Yeah, yeah,
so she
yeah,
should be fine.
yeah. Good, good. Uh-huh. Yeah. Well, we'll have to look out for each other if you're there Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, you're normally easy to find. So I've got like a bright yellow tote bag that says UKCDC on it that I'll have with
Right.
me.
All right. Okay. I'll look out for you. Yeah.
And
Where's Donna staying? Has she got somewhere to stay?
yeah, she'll have somewhere to stay. And I've got a penchant for clothing with dinosaurs on, so I'm normally fairly easy to spot.
To spot.
Yeah, just look for someone wearing something with dinosaur. Look, I've got dinosaurs today.
Yeah. Oh wow. Yes.
It's the thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just hoping for some nice weather. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I don't want 30 degrees, boiling hot sunshine. Just as long as it doesn't rain and it's not windy. Because my friend's been up about 3 times to the northeast, Rosie, and every time she comes, it's either lashing rain or gale force winds, and so I just hope for her sake that it's at least dry and not, awful.
Yeah, Donna's got bright pink hair. She said she can't miss it.
All right, that's good. Good. Right, look out for pink hair. Well, I've got a new orange sun hat, so if you see the orange sun hat, it'll be me if the sun's shining.
Hey,
Hopefully.
don't see where it is. And Sam's tiny, so you can't spot her. You just look for someone really short and you'll find Sam.
Sam. Oh, I know her face now after before. So yeah,
Yeah, so you'll
yeah,
find Sam easily enough.
yeah. Good, good. Yeah, yeah.
So when you write your books, have you? I'm going to ask you one of our group's favourite questions. Have you ever acted out a scene as you've written it?
Acted out a scene?
Yeah.
No, I don't think I've acted out a scene. No, I haven't acted out a scene. No, no. Yeah, I've changed quite a lot. I start off as being totally organised, and I know my chapters and what's going to happen. I have to have. I can't just do pansters like some. Just sit down and write. I don't. I think to do that, you've got to have a really good memory, and I haven't got a good memory at all. I would get halfway through and think I can't remember who this was or what he's doing, or. So I have to have a start, a middle, and an end. And even though I set my chapters out, sometimes I can get to sort of, you know, 3 or 4 chapters in and think, this is no good. She would never do that, or he would never do this. You're going to have to think of something. And then I swap and change and, cut things out and move them around and what have you. But I basically know where I'm going. Yeah. And with the short reads I've been writing, spookily enough, the last couple, the intriguing journeys that I've done, 2 of those I actually had the ending before and I built the story around an ending, which I've never done before. And I don't know how it happened. I just got this ending in my mind, so I had to go back and start and write it from the beginning to match, to sort of see how the characters were going to end up at the end, sort of thing.
So
Yeah.
you've talked about your organisation and stuff. Do you keep like character details written down then?
Oh gosh, yeah, they've all got cards. Yeah, they have white postcards, and everything's jotted down and things. Years ago, I fell short once with one of my first or second books, and the editor came back and said, "I thought she had blue eyes." Oh God! So after that, I write every all appearance and character traits and personality. Everything goes on the card. And I'll usually pin them up on my board as I'm going, and then I can lift the card off and think, okay, he had green trousers on, such and such. And then, of course, when they're out shopping and he sees this lovely Trilby hat in his briefcase, and Barbara says, oh, I'll get you that for Christmas and stuff. So everything like that, his hat and his briefcase goes on the card. So I remember, what they're about, sort of thing. Because like I say, I haven't got a fantastic memory. So I like to keep on top of them.
Makes
Yeah.
sense. Do you have like photos or anything that go with it? So you've got 5 on the front of all your books, so you've obviously got a really clear visual of what you think he looks like. Do you have like photos for any of the other authors? Any of the other characters, sorry.
Not really. Yes, I sort of. I think I mix and I think of people that I've met, and I think, oh yeah. I mean, next year in the writing group, the lady that runs the writing group is called Cynthia, and she used to be in amateur dramatics, and she's very much oh darling, how are you, and all of this, and champagne cocktails and things, and she lives in Harrogate. So, and I don't quite know where Cynthia came from, but a friend who read it said, I love Cynthia already. I'm there. I'm with Cynthia. And I think she was just a mixture of, different people that I've met along the way. I was sitting in Bristol waiting for my friends in the hotel in reception, and this guy came in, striking American. Well, he had an American accent, but he'd lost his ring, and he went running up to the reception desk and said, I've lost my ring. I must have it. I must have it. I'm devastated. And he had like a really nice blue pinstripes up with this long silk scarf draped down the side of him. And he was quite attractive, but very small, like sort of like your Michael Jackson build. I looked at him and I thought, oh gosh, he's marvellous. So I had whipped my notebook out and I was jotting little things down when he was. Anyway, the receptionist found his ring. It was lying on the side of the carpet and stuff. So he threw his arms round her and was thanking her and everything. And I thought, oh, he's marvellous, him. So I'll have to write those little bits down. So he might come into the story somewhere along the line in the future.
Nice. Sam has asked if you've got any advice for authors who'd like to visit markets to sell their books.
Just well, the first time I did it, I was like, "Oh my goodness, what am I going? What am I doing this for?" Sort of thing. But I took my books along, I set my table up, and it was just amazing. The amount of people that came up, and I was explaining each one. And what I usually do, I've got the front of the book on like a little stand like that. But then if I take 5 or 6 copies, I have the other ones behind it, and I turn this one that way. So I lift it up and I give them so they can read the blurb on the back while I'm explaining about it and talking to them about it and stuff. And yeah, absolutely. Just engage because people do like to talk about them. And like I said before, the love, the fact that the books are set and, where they live and, there's strong characters because we do have strong characters in the Northeast. And yeah, yeah. And just go along and I really enjoy it. Like, see, sometimes I've been to smaller places and Miss on a call in Chesley Street. I went there one day. There was a sale on, and I think I sold 3 copies. But one of them, 2 of them were to the ladies working behind the bar. There was hardly anybody turned up. So, but you just don't know until you get there. And then other places I've gone, I think, oh, there's not been much going, here today, sort of thing. And I end up selling 10 or 15 copies, so you could just never tell. Depends on the amount of people that there is. I've done the bigger ones, Tynemouth Market on a Saturday. There's hundreds of people bought the Tynemouth Market, but I came away from there totally disappointed. I think I sold 4 copies. And when I sat and watched people, they go to the market to say that they're going to the market, and basically, I think most of them are just interested in a sausage bap or a can of Coke, and they just want to walk up and down the aisles. They don't even look at what's on the tables, what people are selling. So, you know, just because there's a lot of footfall doesn't mean to say that you'll sell a lot of books. Sometimes the smaller places, when there's less people there, I end up selling more.
Well, I guess
So,
you can talk to people more. So the event we met at, there
yeah,
weren't a lot of people there, was there? But you could have plenty of time talking to all of the authors, and I think I probably left with more books because I met so many people and actually got to talk to
absolutely.
them about their books.
That's it, absolutely, yeah, yeah. And I always try to sort of engage as soon as if I say, oh, and they say, all right, oh, I'll take one of those. It's really strange as well. I've got his wife's secret is set in a small village called Kibblesworth. It's Angel of the North, yeah. So at my hometown, Bertley, and I do the Morrisons. They have a craft market once a month. So when I do Bertley, because we're near the Angel of the North, I sell more copies of that one. When I go to Chesley Street, which is south in County Durham, and my book Darkroom Secrets is set in Durham City, I sell more copies of that one. It's just amazed me really that that I'm sure that's what it is. Sense of place really, but I would just say, Sam, just go along. Um, I started off taking 10 copies of each. But now I'd probably take 5 or 6. And like I said, it just all depends on the day, the amount of people that's there, where it is. Sometimes I sell more of one than the other, and I think, oh, I should have brought another 2 or 3 of these. But then, and the Christmas I think I've got 5 Christmas, 2 novels and 3 novellas. And over the Christmas, I found out that 2 of them didn't sell particularly well, but the other 3 just flew. And I don't know whether it's the covers or the Christmassy covers that the Shambles, the York one that I just sold straight away. Oh, York, is that set in York? Oh, I love going down to York to the markets, and that's it. So that sold really well straight away. The Christmas Shambles did because I said this is the novella that I based Clive from. Oh, I'll take that one. I'll take one of each and I'll read that one first and then the other one. And then I'll give it to my sister and she'll take it to such and such. And and that, it's just engaging with people, talking to them, which I love doing.
Donna's asked if you know about Newcastle Noir. That's a fab festival.
Yep, I was there in December. I only made one day last year because mum wasn't very well, so my sister went for the day and she let me out, sort of thing. That sounds awful, but I got out for the day and went over. I had tickets for 2 days, but the Sunday the snow was so bad anyway. I wouldn't have. The buses weren't running till the afternoon, so yeah. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the one day I got there very much. So yeah.
It does look
Yeah.
like a good festival. It's another one on my list of ones to go to, like bloody Scotland.
Yeah. Oh, Stirling's really good. I loved. I've only been the once, and Stirling's a beautiful Scottish town. It really is lovely. And whereas in Harrogate everything is based in the old Swan, in Stirling it's set out within the town. So there, I can't remember the name of the pub. It's a bit like the old Swan, but it's an old pub, and sort of the big events are held in there, but then sort of the author panels and different ones, or there's they use sort of the secondary schools assembly room and things, and they're set out around the town. So if you're sort of going from the 1 o'clock one or 2 o'clock one, and then the next one starts at 2:30, sometimes you've got to gallop across down the road and across the street to get there, to get a place. Do you know what I mean? But lovely, lovely town to stay in,
That
Stirling.
can be a bit of a downside, though, can't it? I did this at I went to Bradford Literature Festival
Right,
a couple of weeks ago, and that's
uh-huh.
amazing. But is that all around Bradford, a bit like you were saying in Stirling?
Yeah, yeah,
And I have tickets for events that, normally if you were like all in the same venue, you could have gone to
yeah,
all of them,
yeah,
but you couldn't. Like, I couldn't make it back. I made it back in time for one panel, and I
right,
got back as it was finishing.
right,
It
yeah,
was so
yeah,
far to walk.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but yeah, so I almost missed one, and I just had to sneak in at
yeah,
the end to say hello to the authors as they were doing the signing.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah, and
John,
well,
if you speak to Jackie, um, Jackie Collins, who does Newcastle Noir, she's willing to promote as many authors as she can. She'd put you on a panel if you asked.
oh gosh, that would be great. I would love to. Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
So look for Jackie Collins. Donna does author stuff as well on her group. So Donna's worth.
yeah. I've been on Gunners for a
So
couple of times. Yeah,
look for
yeah,
Jackie Collins.
yeah. I will do, Jackie Collins. Yeah, right. Thank you for that. Yeah. North Stirling on the first night that you go up to the castle. Everybody walks up to the castle and they do the awards up there, and then well, I don't know if it's the same now. It was the year we were there. Then you get given a lantern, a lighted lantern, and there's the bagpipes, the band and the bagpipes, and everybody walks down from the castle in the dark with the lanterns back down to the pub.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I want
yeah.
to do, but that bit's always midweek, and I can't. I'm
Oh, right.
out of
Yeah,
I wouldn't get out
yeah.
of my job to go midweek. It's not.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um, so
yeah,
I missed the torchlight bit, which makes me sad.
yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's great. Yeah, Golden Lion. That's it. I've just seen it on the side. Yeah, that's the name of the pub. Yeah, yeah. And that was the first time I had haggis as well when I was there, and I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
really nice, isn't it?
Well, my mum. Oh, I had mum with us. I mean, it's good 5 years ago. Anyway, we went for a meal on the first night, and there was this nice chicken dish, but it said with haggis, and I thought, don't think I like haggis. My mum said, "What do you say that for? Have you tried it?" And I said, "I don't know." So anyway, I ordered it, and I thought I can always take the haggis off. So it was like the chicken with like a layer of haggis on the top and this gorgeous sauce, and it was absolutely beautiful. It was gorgeous. Then the next day, we had burgers or something at the lunchtime, and the burger had a layer of haggis on. Lovely, loved it, definitely. So there you are.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm just saying now I need to go to bloody Scotland, not just
yeah,
have torchlight for
just for the
second.
haggis.
I love a bit of haggis.
Yeah,
What's your most memorable moments as an author?
Memorable moment from
Memorable moments as an author. What have you been?
as an author.
Yeah.
Um, I think lately was getting my Curious Case files into Waterstones in Newcastle. I've wandered around that shop for years, and it's great having my books, published on Amazon when I first started, and that's great. But I thought it's not the same as seeing a physical book of mine on a shelf in Waterstones in Newcastle. I mean, it's a lovely old shop. Anyway, in the years and years I've wandered around there, thinking, oh God, I'd just love to see one of my books sitting on a shelf. So I think it was March time, February, March. I went in to see him and I said, and he said, yeah, he said, I'm going to order them. And he said, I'll put you on the Northern, we've got a stand with Northern authors. So he said, as soon as the copies come in, he said, I'll get in touch with you and you can come over and sign them. So he emailed us and said, they're in now. And 9 o'clock, I was on the bus the next morning into Newcastle. And he put me on the Northern stand. So I was on the left of Anne Cleeves and I was underneath LJ Ross. And I thought, I can't believe my book's sitting there amongst all of these, And so I signed them and had my photograph taken, and that meant an awful lot. Yeah,
That must be really special. Do you,
yeah.
because you obviously keep copies in to go to fairs and things, do you sell signed copies to people if they want to get in contact?
Oh gosh, yes, absolutely. Yeah, no, it's not a problem. Yeah, when I'm doing the markets in the craft fair, it's when somebody said, and I'll say, "What's it for? Is it for her birthday?" Oh, yes, for my sister's birthday. I'm not much of a reader, but she loves reading, and I think she'll like this one about you. Say, "What's your sister's name?" Is I always sign it to, to whoever it's for. And they're usually thrilled to have that done. So absolutely, it's not a problem.
Yeah, I think a signed book's something really special, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah.
Sam wants to know if you've used any real people or names in your books, or would you?
No, they're all fictional. No, definitely. Yeah. I mean, I sort of, when I'm writing a character, I sort of know, like Cynthia in Harrogate next year, I sort of know the basis of where she's come from, but she wasn't called Cynthia, and I would never do that. They're all purely fictional and places and things that, Darkroom Secrets is set in a photography studio in Durham, and this lady said to me, I didn't know there was a photography studio in Durham. And I said, well, there isn't now. And she says, well, was that where that happened, that story? I said, no, I've just made it up. I said, it's all fictional, I've just made it up. So, yeah. No, I don't use real people or names, no.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
You've been asked if you have a treasured signed book.
I haven't, no. Actually, I haven't, no. I think lately, I think I might have been one of the first people to get a Kindle. And I don't think I've bought an awful lot, apart from authors that I love, like Harlan. I usually buy his paperback. I just love to have it in my hand. But most of it's on my Kindle. And so I don't think I have got a signed.
I have a treasured.
Treasured.
I have signed bookshelves. I'm trying to move my things so you can see
Oh
it.
my goodness!
Like
Yeah.
there, that's part of my signed book collection.
Yeah.
My treasured ones are probably, I've got a signed Charlene Harris book
All right.
that I'm very, very proud of. Like, that's quite treasured. And I've got a
Yeah.
Joe signed
Yeah.
book, who's Stephen King's son.
Right. All right. Yeah.
He's an amazing author, and I've got a signed book by him because he came to Waterstones in Leeds.
Oh, brilliant! Yeah. I'm saying I haven't got a signed book, but Harlan did touch the side of my arm when he walked past at the Harrogate festival. Because basically, I thought I'll have to go if he's coming from New York. I've got to be there, so that's the reason why I went that year. And Ian Rankin interviewed him, And so when he got off the stage and he was like walking right through the room to go to the back to do his book signing, I like stood up and I went like this, and he touched my arm and I thought, oh gosh, I'm not wash it again for a few days, my arm. So yeah, absolutely. But it's a great festival to go to, and you know, I think even if you're not sort of, totally into crime, you would still enjoy it. Do you know what I mean? You would still enjoy the panels and the atmosphere, and it's so friendly. Yeah.
It's nice just to go and hang out with people. I haven't got any panel tickets this year. I've just
Have you
got
not?
night passes.
Yeah, yeah. You're just going to go in for the day and wander. Yeah.
Well, when I went to finally get around to buy it, I've been so busy this last month or so.
Yeah.
I don't know whether I'm coming or going. And when I got around to buying panel tickets, there weren't any. There weren't like 9 o'clock in the morning.
Oh,
They were all
right.
sold out, so I was just going for a sight pass. I'm just going to go and hang out.
Yeah. But last year, there was still some left over, because what happened was I went down to meet a friend in the morning in York, and then I jumped the train and got into Harrogate, and some of the savvy writers were meeting in the hotel for a drink. So I went along to them because I've been chatting to them for years and never met any of them. And it was just about an hour. And then I wandered back in, and I went into the box office and I said, "Is any tickets left for anything, or has it all got?" No, she said, "There's one 2:30." I went, "Oh, great." So I bought a ticket for that. And my train back wasn't going till 6 o'clock or something. So I got one for another panel at 4:30 and 5:30.
There you
So
go. That's pretty cool.
sometimes they are still, sometimes they don't all sell out altogether. They might have done this year though. Maybe it
Well,
was
they were when I went to look. They were
just,
both
last year was sort of the first year after the lockdown, wasn't it? So maybe there wasn't as many people, there as what there usually is, sort of thing.
Yeah, maybe. So we've got
Maybe.
2 minutes left. Show people off some book covers and things and remind them what they might be off to buy.
Okay, right. Well, what about a Christmas tasters? I've only got the one Christmas. Oh no, I haven't got that one as well. That was this one set in North Shields. It's called the Christmas Tasters, with a big Christmas pudding on the front. And she's a food tech that works in a supermarket doing customer panels. So she, every Thursday night for the 7 weeks going up to Christmas, she has to do a Christmas product. So she works through puddings, Christmas cake, mince pies, and the 6 complete strangers that meet every week to do the taste panel with her. But they're not quite all strangers, so it turns out. So there's like an interwoven plot, and the fact that she falls in, there's a photographer comes along to the studio from North Shields, and there's a bit of a romance in it as well. So that one, and this is the guest for Christmas lunch, which isn't actually set in the Northeast, but this is somebody that turns up very unexpected at lunchtime on Christmas Day. And I'll tell you much more about that one. I haven't got any of the other 2 Christmas ones with us. So yeah. So latest one, Caravan Park, and Christmas Crusades was where it came from. So when I go to the next couple of markets, I've ordered some Christmas. I don't usually sell Christmas throughout the year, but because it's 1 and 2, I've ordered some. So I'll take them along, and maybe something nice think, oh, we'll buy them both or one or the other sort of thing as a series.
Nice.
And the Curious Case Files. I'm just wondering if I get my hand on one down here. These are the Curious Case Files, of which there's 6 short reads, but it's the length of a novel. So in here we've got an author that goes missing. We've got a burglary, and we've got the downfall of social media, and Christine that goes on a murder mystery. I think that's supposed to be Christine on the front, goes on a murder mystery weekend. So
then all that's left has been signed. Who has said this? I think this is Donna. She said, "This has been fab. Thank you both. I'll grab a signed up copy off you at Harrogate if you have any."
oh, brilliant! Right, I'll take some. Definitely take some down.
I'm gonna guess
Yep.
that was, I can't. It says Facebook user, so but I'm gonna guess it was Donna. It sounds very Donna. Kind of.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, all that's left to say is thanks for joining us. It's been a pleasure.
Lovely. Well, thanks for having me, and it's nice meeting everybody. And thank you for your help at first, Sam, when I got with the link and everything. And yeah, see you in Harrogate 2 weeks.
Yeah, see you there.
2 weeks today. Yeah. And I'll